Next speaker is Professor Andreu Colell, who is now the President of the Board of Trustees of the Barcelona Institute of Science and Technology. Maybe you want to introduce it?
Authorities, friends, Rector, I suppose I should start by thanking you for letting a representative of the dark side, namely an economist, intrude in an event of physicists. It's really an honor to participate in this event. I knew what Cardona very early in the 70s through physicist friends, and I think it must have been at Berkeley. Maybe Salvador Ferrer, who's around here, was one of the people that first brought Cardona, the name of Cardona to my attention. It's well known that the Spanish physicist community was then one of the more internationalized as scientific communities in Spain. We were lucky that the takeoff of serious scientific policies in the 80s was led by them. And I must say that mixing with physicists, something that I did often because I like it and because accidents of life, one soon became aware of the figure of Manuel Cardona that was treated by them always with awe and deep respect. Eventually I met him, sometimes in the beginning 80s. I recall in particular a formal dinner party at the Gypsiacus headquarters of the CSIC. I don't remember the occasion, but I am sure that some people in the audience do. You probably were there. From that point, I saw him occasionally. His presence, his physical presence, his presence, talking to him, impressed me rather quickly on two accounts. One very relevant, one totally irrelevant. The very relevant one is that he was obviously a very powerful intellect that you didn't need to know that to notice. The second was very interesting for an economic theorist because the irrelevant one, because he had solved really magnificently the optimization problem of how to minimize the danger of staining your tie while keeping a very high side constraint on elegance. So he was very elegant, and really I was very impressed by this characteristic, this sartorial characteristic of him. I repeat, this is totally irrelevant. I moved to research policies. We, as a research policy manager in Catalonia, we relied very often on him for advice, for service in committees. What can I say? It has already been mentioned. He was very generous with his time with CSIC. He was very generous with his time with with the scientific policies of the Catalan government. He was unfailingly cooperative, and he transmitted a clear sense that he empathized deeply with what we were trying to accomplish. Let me talk about centers, and wish to do that because I'm involved with centers, research centers, and because of a conversation. It may even have been a telephone conversation, I don't remember too well, with a conversation with him about the research center. We were then initiating a policy of, from the Catalan government, a policy of stimulating the launching research center and launching and reinforcing research centers. So I had a conversation with him about this. I asked him in particular, if the Max Planck Institute had legal standing. That is to say, if in Spanish terms, if they had an if they could contract each of them, or they did not have a legal standing. He told me, the gist of it, I think in spite of him being very smart, I think it took a little bit of time for him to fully understand the question I was putting to him. That was probably my problem. But at the end, the gist of it was that no, that they did not have legal standing, correct. But he added that it did not matter, and emphasize the importance of critical mass. We did not follow his advice. The center we launched then had legal standings. In our context, it did matter because it mattered for governance issue, which evidently were better solved in Germany than among us. And I am referring to issues such as owning the personal policies, having for the research centers to have their own human resources policies. We thought at that point that it was essential that they have legal standing. Thus, that was around 2000. In this path, towards the years 2010, we found ourselves, the government of Catalonia, let me say, Catalonia, we found ourselves with a loose grouping of center under its direct responsibility. The grouping is known distinctly as ASER, an association, or CERCA, Support Research Foundation for the institutes in that association, more or less. I want to remark that a number of the center are mixed with universities and or the CSIC, under a variety of legal forms, but a constant is all the centers have legal standing. Yet, I come back to Cardona, the matter of critical mass is indeed very, very important, as Cardona well pointed out to us. It is important and vital that good groups have good governance. That's the priority. Good groups should have good governance. But it does not follow that each good group should have its own governance in the sense of legal standing. It is inefficient that centers be too small. It is inefficient both intellectually for all the usual reasons, and we also learn economically. This last point is especially so in times of economic crisis, as we have learned the hard way. A large organization can resist a liquidity crisis. A small one easily succumbs. acquiring critical mass became a central issue around 2011 by us. I then was in the Catalan government. CERCA developed a specific program to address the matter, named SUMA, through, we could say, mergers and acquisitions, financial terminology, through mergers and acquisitions. The 49 centers that existed at the end of 2010, clearly an inordinately large number, will become 40 at the end of this year. It's currently 43, but at the end of the year it will be 40. It's still a large number. From the SUMA plan emerged also the Barcelona Institute of Science and Technology, BIST. It groups 6 of the CERCA center with highest impact. In particular, CRG, the Center of Genomic Regulation, the Institute of Research in Biomedicine, the Institute of Higher EFI, the Institute of Physics of Higher Energy, ICFO, Photonics, ICIC Chemistry, actually located in Tarragona, and CN2, which Ralph Tarrac was the first president of the physicist, was the first president of the board, and for reason it doesn't matter now, I am currently the president of the board, and I repeat, it's an honor, and I thank the trust put in me by the scientific community of the BIST and its board. Each center in the BIST retains its own personality, its own policies, and all of them has its own legal standing. So it's a grouping of institutions that want to preserve its personality, but at the same time it is a grouping that wants to go beyond being simply one more network. It also wants to, so to speak, create a collective identity. It is also, let me assert that it is an institution that thinks themselves as complementary and wishes to cooperate and collaborate with other large and small, but especially large institutions, be it the CSIC or be it the university. So I could say that at the end we paid attention to Cardona in one thing, critical mass, but not in another. We have legal standing of the individual centers. And so we have ended up in this particular path, in which I currently am, in the BIST path, with something that in German terms is closer to the Helmholtz Association than to the Max Planck, because it is an association of institutions, each one has its own legal standing. Let me entertain the idea that Cardona would not be critical about this. In fact, I suppose that he wouldn't care the slightest. He would judge us strictly by the excellence of our scientific output. And I hope and will work hard that from wherever he is now, he can verify that indeed the standards and the excellence is very high. Thank you very much.
I just wanted to say that this